Our lesson today will cover the design principles and elements to be considered when creating a business website. This lesson will cover the following objectives: understand the design choices that make up a professional website, learn the various page layout designs and how they guide the viewer through your website, understand the impact color and font choices have on a viewer. It is a well-known fact that a shift has occurred in the world of marketing and promotion. If you don't have an online presence, you're missing out on millions of potential customers across the globe. Your website is an important part of your business, if not the most important. Your website is your number one sales tool. Take your time to construct the content of your page in order to ensure people will stick around and buy your product. These are the 6 categories that you need to give attention to when designing your website. First one is understand different aspects of a website and how they work towards your main goal. Every component of your website, is it focusing on the main goal and theme of what you want your website to achieve? Step 2, decide on the main website theme. Are you going to go with a modern theme, traditional look, elegant look? Whatever you choose, make sure that the pictures and colors all focus back on that main website theme. Third is choosing a page layout. So how do you want your text laid out and your photos laid out? Fourth, choose the type of header. So how do you want your logo to appear and your navigation buttons? Fifth is choosing the colors and the feeling that you want those colors to convey to the viewer. And finally, fonts, deciding on the best font to make your website readable for the viewer, but also achieve that same website theme. Step 1 of designing your website was understanding different aspects of a website and how they work towards your main goal. So here's a list of 7 good design basics that you should try to incorporate in a way that achieves that ultimate goal you set. So the first one is white space. White space doesn't have to actually be white. It simply means that there needs to be some blank space. White space can also be referred to as negative space as well. This helps to draw the viewer's attention to where you want it to go, as well as gives contrast to the page. When done right, leaving white space helps to balance out the page and set a more upscale tone. The second item is color. So the colors that you choose on a website will have more of an impact than you might think. The color chosen should focus these guidelines and more. So you want to match the colors to the business's current branding color scheme. So typically looking at the logo that you already use and using those same colors. Consistency with colors across all platforms and with your logo is best. Colors shouldn't be too overpowering or overwhelming. You don't want those colors that you choose to use to get in the way of conveying your message to the viewer. And colors shouldn't clash with one another and be real abrasive on the viewer's eye. As well as you can use bold colors to draw the viewer's eye to a particular call of action on your website, like subscribe now or call our office today to schedule your appointment. And then you can use more subtle colors as backgrounds or secondary pieces of information. Background colors should work well with font colors. While it might be fun to play around with multiple colors, the most important thing is readability when it comes to the text. I would make sure that you have high contrasting colors so that they're easily readable. So if you have a dark background, make sure to use a light color font or vice versa. Third is the navigation. Navigation on a website refers to how the menu is set up and how the viewer finds where they need to go. One of the most frustrating things is being on a website and not being able to figure out where it is you want to go and how to get there. This can be because the information is too congested or that it's simply not labeled well or hard to find. Some items to remember when creating a website's navigation are always label menus or buttons clearly enough so that people know where they will be going when they click that button. Also, simple descriptive text is best. The menu and buttons should be in an easy to find place and coincide with where viewers are used to finding these links on a website. At least the main menu needs to be on every page. The fourth one is positioning and alignment. So when you arrange elements on a website, where pieces are placed really does matter. So elements are placed on the page and it dictates the order in which the viewer will see it. So having the proper flow of pieces and information to walk a visitor through the website is vital. Alignment comes secondary to this point, but is still a necessary aspect to address. One piece are all placed in the correct positions. They should also be consistently aligned. Nobody wants to surf a website where everything is different sizes and have different amounts of spacing. Some things left aligned and other things are center aligned. Make sure you have consistency with the alignment. The fifth one is mobile ability. So typically whenever you have a website available through desktop, you do have to customize and change that website so that it best fits whenever a customer is browsing from a mobile phone. All websites today should be built for mobile viewing as well as your traditional desktop computers. There is undoubtedly a large number of website visitors coming to your website from a smartphone. So when they reach your website, you want them to stay. And if the website needs to be zoomed in on or zoomed out a lot, it's hard to see on a cell phone. The viewer's going to get quickly irritated and potentially leave. So make sure to customize a format of your website for mobile viewing as well as desktop viewing. Sixth is the typography. This is simply the text on your website, and it should relate back to your brand. It helps to set a visual tone and can bring a lot to the overall design of your website. Some aspects that should be addressed in relation to the typography are going to be your font style, your font size, the color that you choose for your font, the spacing, the length of the lines, and paragraph styles. The final step for aspects of your website is the usability. Testing out how your website works and making sure that it's easy to use is probably the most important step. Some tips to remember when designing for usability are thinking about what people are used to and what they expect in a website. Stick to those standards of design, such as having the menu at the top of the website or along the sidebar, and using certain symbols. Understand what the user might want to experience. What are they going to try to do when they get to the website, and what might they search for? Knowing what they might be trying to achieve will help you to plan a successful and accessible design for them. The other portion of step number 1 to designing your website was understanding how your different aspects of your website work towards a main goal. So when it comes to your main goal, identify the goal of your website, then make design choices to achieve that goal. So you will want to fill in the statement, the goal of our website is, some examples could be to increase your sales, to become an authoritative resource, to improve interaction with existing and potential customers, or to build your brand. So once you've identified that goal, then you'll want to make design choices which achieve and work towards that ultimate goal. So if it was to increase sales, then you would want to make sure that you give attention to search engine optimization, which has to do with keywords used on your website to increase your rankings on Google and Yahoo searches. Also, with increased sales, you'll want to make sure that you have well-organized content and a user-friendly site, effective calls to action, and increased conversion rate, which is customers coming to your website, visiting, and ultimately making a sale, becoming a customer. Another example would be if you are wanting to improve the interaction with existing and potential customers, then design choices you need to make are providing an online support live chat available on your website design, or offering webinar videos accessible through your website. Content designed to give your visitor a reason to come back every so often. So you'll want to consider your ideal visitor. Once you identify your ideal visitor or your target audience, then you'll start to choose design elements which appeal to that particular visitor. So, an example would be, say your ideal visitor is an analytical person. When it comes to analytical people, they like to see detail and gather all the information. So, you'll want to make sure that you have product descriptions, specifications for the product as far as size, different colors, maybe have a rating option for customers to review products, and then offer multiple photos of your product so that it really fulfills the analytical needs of that visitor. The second step in designing a website is to decide on a main website theme. Depending on the nature of your business or the content you are delivering from your website will help determine the best theme. A business style page is one that is selling products or services. It may contain shopping features and ability to accept payment from customers. A portfolio website is an ideal theme for businesses such as photographers or artists. With a portfolio website, you can showcase your work throughout your website and share informative information. A personal website is one that is informative information about one specific person. It may feature a biography, career accomplishments, and contact information. Some people use a personal website as a form of networking to develop an electronic career portfolio they can use when searching for a job. An event website is used to share all things related to a specific event taking place. It shares the key message of the event, past photos, ticket sales options, and event details. Charity organizations and annual music festivals will typically promote their events through event websites. Finally, a blog is an informational website which has posts for viewers to read, learn, or discuss on various topics. Blog websites typically focus their posts on a specific category such as fitness, recipes, or lifestyle topics. The third step in designing a website is to choose a page layout. The home page is the most important page when it comes to working towards your website goal. The home page is the first main page that a visitor will land on once they visit your website. So you'll want to put important information front and center on the home page, such as free items, upcoming events, and sales offers. Make sure to use big, obvious buttons to make distinctions between services you offer as well as products. So, some of the questions you'll want to answer when it comes to designing your homepage layout is, what's the first thing you'd like your visitor to do when they land on your homepage? And is that the most prominent thing on your page? If the answer is no, then you'll want to rework the layout and design of your contents on the homepage to ensure that it encourages your visitor to do exactly what it is you want them to do. For example, if you really want them to watch a particular video, don't place the video at the bottom of the homepage. Make sure it's up front and center at the very top of the homepage design. If you're wanting to encourage that they shop a particular sale, have a main banner image going across the top of the homepage, which encourages them to click here now to shop the sale. Here's a template for your homepage layout design. Typically, businesses will use their logo and navigation buttons as the very first items on the homepage design. Just below that is going to be a header image. Whatever's on your header image, as well as your logo and navigation buttons, that will appear on every single page of your website. So all of this information comprises the above the fold contents. Above the fold contents you can see without scrolling down when your home page is first loaded. Everything else is considered below the fold. This is contents that you only see whenever you start scrolling through the website. You can put things like benefits, images, and other useful content. However, remember, whatever you want the viewer to do first needs to be above the fold. Beyond the home page of a website are the inner pages, or sometimes referred to as subpages. Inner pages put emphasis on the contents. You want to make sure it's easy for the user to continue to other pages within the website. This is the navigation and usability aspects we discussed earlier. The overall color, font, text design should be similar to your home page, and inner pages will typically include more content and descriptions than the home page might offer. Some questions you'll want to ask yourself when designing inner pages are: how are you putting emphasis on the content on each page? And can the viewer easily navigate to other pages from here? This is an example of a home page and an inner page website design. You may notice the color, text, and font styles are consistent between the two pages. You may even notice that the header and the footer of each page are identical. However, the contents of each page differs. You don't see a lot of text descriptions on the home page. You see more images and buttons encouraging the user to navigate further into the website pages. Whereas the inner page has more paragraph style information and offers a sidebar menu for the visitor to easily navigate to another part of the website with ease. Here's an example of a sales or a landing page on a website. Usually you don't have a sidebar on the side because you want to encourage the customer to click one of the products to learn more about it. It allows the user to focus specifically on the content offering on that particular page. And you really want to focus on encouraging the user to do something specific. So you want to make sure to only give them that specific contents that you want them to work with. The fourth step in designing a website is choosing the type of header for your website. This is the first thing that someone will see when they land on your website. So what is the impression you want to give the audience? It also runs across the top of the page and appears on every single page. So here's a few designs of headers for different websites. So you've got your Pierre's Ice Cream, which has the navigation buttons on top, and a background image that can scroll as a slideshow of images. We have the Stripe website design, which has a colored background, has some of the navigation buttons, but also has clickable buttons within the header portion image. And then you have the Cleverbird Creative. This actually is a scrolling header. So as you scroll down their website, their navigation buttons actually scroll up to the top, just kind of making it more of a gliding look to the header. The fifth design aspect of designing a website was the color and feeling. So what is the feeling you want your visitors to have when they land on your website? And then you'll want to make sure to achieve that particular feeling with colors that you select. They typically say stick with about 3 to 5 main colors. Don't go beyond the 5, then it just gets to be too much and too confusing as far as feelings that your website conveys. So you want to choose typically 1 to 2 main colors. That is what sets the tone, and it generally covers about 60% of your website colors. 1 to 2 accent colors. This is used to draw attention, such as you might want to use an accent color for all of your buttons, as well as paragraph text headlines. And then you'll have 1 to 2 base colors. These are just neutral colors that help to break up any of the negative or blank space, and it also can be used to help create a background element. Typically, base colors chosen are going to be your blacks, gray, or beige tones. Here's a color chart example of different feelings that you want your website to convey and the color palette that you should stick within. So color palette 1 is your bold and modern. Color palette 2 helps to convey a calming and soothing experience and feeling. Color 3 is your fun and spunky. And color 4 is your natural and organic feelings. The final design aspect for a website is the fonts. So your main font, the key that you want to achieve is readability. Make sure that you use a serif or sans serif font style where you have areas of multiple lines of text. This ensures that the text will be easily readable and won't be difficult for the customer. Any headlines are where you can show your personality. So here is where you can choose your fancy or bold fonts, but make sure your visitors can still understand your headlines. The final section is your site titles, taglines, graphics. You can get unique. This is where you can use those really unique fonts with different sizing, heights, chunkiness. You can also test out your fonts using fonts.google.com. You can type any sentence in this website and then choose a font style, and it'll show you exactly what that text looks like in that particular font.